If you ever find an app on your phone that you don't remember installing, don't open it. I'm serious. I'm watching the screen recording I made that night, and I still can't explain why I kept filming. Maybe I wanted proof. Maybe I already knew nobody would believe what happened. It was 3:17 a.m. My room was quiet except for my computer and rain tapping against the window. I was scrolling through my phone when I noticed an unfamiliar app sitting between two apps I used every day. No name, no icon, just a black square. I tapped it. The screen went completely dark. Then a notification appeared. Delete this app. I laughed. I thought it was malware. Some stupid prank designed to scare people into clicking a link. Then another notification appeared. You have 8 minutes. My smile disappeared. The countdown started at 8 minutes, and beneath it, my phone displayed the exact time. 3:17 a.m. I whispered, "Okay." Very funny. Then the screen changed again. I'm not the one you should be worried about. That's when I realized the app wasn't warning me about itself. It was warning me about something else. Something that, at the time, I couldn't see. And the worst part is, I discovered what the app could do before I started recording. There are things I left out of the original video. Things I wish I'd never seen. To understand why that notification terrified me, you need to know where the app came from. Before that night, my life was painfully ordinary. I worked during the day, came home tired, ate whatever was easiest, and spent most evenings with my phone within arm's reach. I'd scroll through social media while brushing my teeth, watch YouTube until I couldn't keep my eyes open, and occasionally lose 3 hours to whatever game I was pretending I wasn't addicted to. My biggest concern that week was my battery dying before I got home. Then Evan messaged me. Evan was the kind of friend who sent screenshots without explanations, usually followed by some joke that made no sense. That night, he sent me a screenshot of an old forum post titled "Ghost apps you should never install." I laughed. "Dude, what is this?" "Just read it," he replied. The post talked about apps that supposedly appeared on people's phones without being downloaded. Most of it sounded like recycled creepypasta, but the comments were stranger. People claimed certain apps could reinstall themselves after deletion. Others said their phones became hot, their cameras activated by themselves, or notifications appeared from numbers that didn't exist. Then I saw one comment. "If your phone warns you before deleting it, don't listen." I stared at it for a few seconds. Then I sent Evan a laughing emoji. He replied almost immediately. "Dude, don't open it. You literally sent it to me." "I know. That's why I'm telling you." I assumed he was messing with me. Looking back, I wish I had asked why he sounded so serious. Several users in that thread claimed they had seen the same app, but their posts had disappeared within hours. No explanations. No deleted user labels. Just empty spaces where their comments had been. I remember thinking it was probably an elaborate prank. Then, later that night, I noticed something new on my phone. A black square sat between two familiar apps. I didn't remember installing it. I tapped the icon. I expected an error message. Instead, it opened to a picture of my bedroom taken minutes earlier. The picture loaded instantly. There was no loading circle, no logo, nothing. 1 second I was looking at a black square, and the next I was staring at my own bedroom. Then the picture disappeared. A single sentence appeared in white letters. "Welcome back." I remember actually laughing. "Welcome back," I said. "I've never seen you before." The app didn't answer. Instead, it displayed my full name. Underneath it were my location, battery percentage, and the exact time. Everything was correct. Then another line appeared. "Camera status, occupied." My stomach tightened. I checked the top of my phone. There was no camera indicator. I opened my settings and checked the app's permissions. Camera, denied. Microphone, denied. Location, denied. Contacts, denied. Every permission was turned off. I stared at the screen. Okay, I muttered. World's worst antivirus. The joke didn't help. A new page opened. It showed what I'd eaten that evening. Then it displayed the last message I'd deleted from my phone. Then, underneath that, a sentence appeared. You said, "I'm not opening this thing again." I froze. I had said those exact words less than 10 minutes earlier. Nobody had been in the room. I slowly looked toward the bedroom door. It was closed. The app changed again. This time, it showed a live image of my bedroom. Not a photograph. Live. I could see myself sitting at the desk. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then I noticed something beside the bedroom door. A dark figure stood there. It was tall, unnaturally thin, and completely motionless. I turned around. The doorway was empty. I looked back at the phone. The figure was still there. Then the image changed. It was closer. I turned again. Nothing. My hands had started shaking. A line of text appeared beneath the image. Rule number 1. Don't look behind you when the screen tells you to. I stared at it. The screen hadn't told me to look behind me. Not yet. Then another sentence appeared. Rule number 2 will appear when you break rule number 1. For the first time that night, I stopped thinking about deleting the app. I started wondering how many rules there were. The answer appeared almost immediately. 7. Only one was visible. And somehow, I already knew the others were waiting for me. I wish I could say I closed the app then, but curiosity has always been my worst habit ever. I closed the app. The screen went black, and for 1 second I felt relief. Then my phone vibrated. The app was open again. I stared at it, refusing to touch the screen. I turned the phone face down on my desk. Another vibration. I picked it up. You looked. No, I didn't. I checked the bedroom. The door was still empty. The closet was closed. Nothing moved behind me. Then the second rule appeared. Don't delete the app while someone is watching you. I read it 3 times. Someone was watching me. That was the only explanation my brain would accept. I checked the window first. The curtains were open, but the street outside was empty. I checked the hallway, then the front door, then every room in the apartment. Nothing. When I returned to my desk, my phone was vibrating again. Evan. I answered immediately. Hey. He didn't respond. Evan. Finally, he said. Are you alone? I looked around. Yeah. What? There was a long silence. Then he whispered. Then why did I just see someone behind you? The call ended. I sat perfectly still. A message arrived seconds later. It was a screenshot from Evan. The image showed me sitting at my desk. My exact position. My exact room. And behind my chair stood the same dark figure I'd seen inside the app. I zoomed in. The timestamp made my blood run cold. Tomorrow. I checked the current time. 3:31 a.m. The screenshot had been taken at 3:31 a.m. tomorrow. That was when something finally clicked. The app wasn't predicting things. It was showing me things that hadn't happened yet. Events, conversations, images, even people. It was recording them before they happened. And suddenly, those strange warnings felt less like threats and more like instructions. Rules. Instructions for surviving whatever was coming. Then the screen changed. Rule number 3. Don't ask who the person is. I stared at the figure in the screenshot. I knew I shouldn't speak. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then the figure in the screenshot moved its head toward me, even though the image itself was supposed to be a still frame. My phone vibrated once more, very slowly. I knew the rule was there for a reason. But fear has a way of making curiosity stronger. I leaned closer to the phone. Who is that? The screen went black. Then one word appeared. You. The word you stayed on the screen for almost a minute. I couldn't stop staring at it. Then the app changed. At 3:34, it displayed. Incoming call in 12 seconds. I watched the countdown. 12. 11. 10. When it reached 0, my phone rang. I didn't answer. Another prediction appeared. New message in 5 seconds. 5 seconds later, my phone buzzed. I tested it again. The app predicted the lights would flicker twice. They did. It predicted my neighbor would knock on the wall. 3 seconds later, I heard 2 dull knocks. I should have been terrified. Instead, part of me was impressed. Apparently, my phone was better at predicting my life than I was. That thought stopped being funny when the app predicted something personal. Evan will call in 4 minutes. I watched the timer. At exactly 0, Evan called. I answered. Tell me you still have it, he said. His voice sounded different. Frightened. Have what? The app. I didn't answer. Evan exhaled. I found an old post. Older than the one I sent you. What did it say? That app has been around for years. He told me different people had found it under different names. Sometimes it appeared as a blank icon. Sometimes as a calculator, a flashlight, or an update that never finished installing. But every story ends the same way, he said. How? A pause. They start getting warnings. My mouth went dry. Warnings about what? Things that haven't happened yet. I looked at the app. It was already displaying another line. Evan is telling the truth. Where did you find this post? I searched through archived threads. Most of them are gone. Why? Because someone keeps deleting them. I felt cold despite the room being warm. Who? I don't know. Evan went silent. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. The app isn't really an app. What? It's an interface. For what? He didn't answer immediately. Something uses phones to communicate with people who have already been noticed. I wanted to laugh, but nothing came out. Noticed by what? I don't know. Another silence. Then Evan whispered, There's one thing nobody ever posted publicly. What? What happens after the 7th rule? Before I could ask anything else, the call cut out. I stared at my phone. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then the app opened by itself. Rule number 4, don't let Evan come inside. I heard 3 knocks from the front door. Knock, knock, knock. Then Evan's voice came from the other side. I stopped breathing right there. It's me. My phone vibrated again. And this time, the screen didn't show a rule. It showed one sentence. He is already inside. My phone lit up. Open the door. The message came from Evan. The app displayed one word. Don't. 3 knocks came from the hallway. I moved toward the door, then stopped. Who's there? Me. Evan answered. His voice was perfect. That was the problem. I looked through the peephole. Evan was standing outside. Same jacket. Same hair. Same expression. Except he wasn't moving. Not blinking. Not breathing. Just standing there with his hands hanging at his sides. My phone vibrated. He is not alone. I looked again. At first, I saw only Evan. Then I noticed a second shadow behind him. It stretched across the hallway floor from somewhere I couldn't see. I stepped away from the door. Evan, I'm not opening this. His head tilted slightly. Why? Because you're not supposed to be here. Silence. Then he started knocking harder. Open the door. My phone buzzed. A text from Evan. Don't open it. I stared at the message. Another arrived. Don't let it know you can see it. My hands went cold. I typed back. Where are you? The reply came instantly. I'm still at home. I looked through the peephole again. The thing outside was smiling now. Remember that night at the lake? It said. I froze. Only Evan and I knew about that night. It continued. You pushed me into the water, and you swore you'd never tell anyone why. My stomach dropped. The door handle moved. Slowly. Once. Then again. I backed away. The voice outside changed. It stopped sounding frightened. It sounded angry. Open the door. The app suddenly filled my screen. Rule number 5. Don't trust anyone the app shows you. Then the hallway went silent. The shadow disappeared. Evan was gone. I thought it was over. The app suddenly opened another page. It showed a live image of my apartment. I was standing in the bedroom. I looked at the screen. I looked at myself on the screen. But the version of me inside the phone was standing somewhere else. Behind him was the front door. And behind that door stood Evan. That's when I understood what the app had been showing me. It wasn't showing me people who were coming. It was showing me people before they arrived. The image changed. Now it showed me. Not a picture of me. Me. Standing somewhere I had never been. And behind me, something was smiling. The video on my phone showed me sitting at my desk. Same room. Same clothes. Same time. I watched myself stare at the screen. Then the version of me in the video slowly raised his head and looked directly into the camera. His lips moved. Delete it. I didn't hesitate. I closed the video and pressed the app icon. For the first time, a normal delete option appeared. I tapped it. The screen froze. Then a message appeared. Are you sure? Yes. I pressed yes. The screen went black. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then one sentence appeared. Too late. I stopped breathing. If you're still listening, I need you to understand something. This is the part one originally left out. I had recorded everything that night. Every warning. Every message. Every second of that countdown. But when I watched the recording afterward, I noticed something I hadn't seen while it was happening. There was another warning. It wasn't visible when the video played normally. I only found it after slowing the footage down and watching it backward. I know how that sounds. I know it sounds like the kind of detail people add to make a story scarier. I wish it were. I opened the original recording. At first, everything looked normal. Then I reversed the footage. The clock moved backward. 3:18, 3:17, 3:16. The room became darker. And when the recording reached the moment I first opened the app, I saw something standing behind me. I froze. It wasn't the figure from the screenshots. It was closer. Much closer. It was standing behind my chair, with one hand resting on my shoulder. And even though the recording was reversed, its face was turned toward the camera, toward whoever was watching. Then I noticed the worst part. It was smiling. I stared at the reversed footage until my eyes started hurting. Then I noticed something I had missed. The figure wasn't standing behind me. It was standing behind the camera. For a moment, I couldn't understand what I was seeing. The camera was sitting on my desk, pointed directly at me. There shouldn't have been enough space behind it for anyone to stand. But there was. The app hadn't been recording my room. It had been recording the viewer's perspective. That's why it knew where I was sitting. That's why the figure always seemed to move closer whenever I watched the footage. It wasn't inside my apartment. It was on the other side of the screen. And suddenly, every strange detail made sense. The app didn't need to infect phones. It needed attention. It needed someone to watch. I found the final rule hidden inside the recording. Rule number 7. If someone finishes the recording, they become the next user. I read it twice. Then I understood why nobody had ever found an installation file, a developer, or a download link. There didn't need to be one. The recording itself was the delivery system. Every person who watched long enough became another observer, another user, another place for whatever was behind that camera to look through. I thought I was recording this to warn you. I wasn't. My phone vibrated. A notification appeared. New user detected. Before I could touch the screen, another message appeared beneath it. Thank you for watching. I still don't know if the app exists. Maybe it was deleted. Maybe someone else found it. Maybe it's been waiting on another phone. So don't search for it. Don't test this. And if someone mentions a download link in the comments, don't open it. I checked my phone. App status, active. Current user, 1. Previous user, me. Next user, you. The screen went black. Then one final notification appeared. Why did you finish the video? I stared at those words for a long time. And then I realized something that made me stop breathing. I think I know why.